Thank you everyone for coming out. I know I'll count that in the modern day that we live in, modern age. I'm busy when everyone's working and everything. So thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate it, especially because a lot of people think that why do we need to, we can do apni bhakti, we can do our kirtan, chant tavle, vaheguru, right? Which is also equally important, obviously. But many don't understand the value of such a seminar, such a talk. Okay? And so that's what we'll start with. Why is this important? Why do we think such a seminar, such a talk, is valuable to the Sikh Panth in the modern age that we live in? This will be interactive. One more thing, this talk will mostly be in English. Okay? Because the main goal of this talk is so apasare, all of us as a collective, us included myself as well, after this talk we leave here with more confidence. Okay? More confidence to carry this saroop, to carry this identity of the Guru into the modern world that we live in, into Asada, into our works, into our school, right? Into our university, into our everywhere that we live. Everywhere that we go. Okay? So, any ideas? Anyone want to chime in? Why do we think this is important? Because I'm assuming he thought it was important enough. You spent Friday Shami. I don't think, why did you come here?
It's important to get educated about it.
Louder. Louder.
It's important to get educated on Sikhi. You can say why, but if you don't know why, why would you say it?
This is very good. You can say Waheguru, but you don't know why you say Waheguru. Okay? That's what the basics of Sikhi has done a great job. The BIM started a course called the Waheguru course. Why? W-H-Y, Guru. Why Guru? Kyun? Why do we need the Guru? Or why say Waheguru? Right? So these are the questions that you will be asked, we will all be asked in the dunya, in modern day, the modern world that we live in. Right? Because you are walking, talking representations of what you believe in inside Andaro. Right? Sikhi is it comes out like a flower, blossoms. Okay? Andaro, if you're dukhi, Andaro, if you're not in it, you won't see it. You won't be able to keep your case. There's one thing I see in modern day practitioners. First thing they jump to is keep your case. Good God, this is not how it works. It's never how it works. The idea is you meditate andaro, inside, you experience the bliss of Naam, of Kirtan, of Sangat, and this case, this hair that we have, it naturally comes out. And you get to a stage in your life where you're like, I don't want to cut this case, this hair anymore, I don't want to cut it. Why should I? We'll get into all those topics that you could be asked, all those questions that you will be asked, and how to manage them, how to handle them. If someone doesn't understand my English for some reason, please ask. There's very young Punjabi speaking people sitting in the audience that I know they will love to help out as well. Okay? So Hanji, we're visibly unique. Okay? Thus there are assumptions assumptions, misconceptions. As soon as you walk into a room, people will start making assumptions about you right away. 3 seconds it takes, and someone already has an idea of who you are. Okay? And so therefore we should be able to speak in a very clear manner and have confidence in our answers as well. Right? So if you say something and you have no confidence, the person in front of you can see that you have you yourself are shaking. Are they going to be confident in your answer? They're not going to take you seriously, right? So we have to be again in this stuff as well, right? And then again, English, not all of our first languages. And the last point I put in here an hour ago. Right? I thought because a lot of people say, again, bhakti, but look, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, our first Guru, we all know of Guru Maharaj. Maharaj went to the mountains in their Udasiya, in their travels. They went to the mountain, they went to the Siddh, these spiritual beings. They tap into that spirit, those spiritual powers that Sikhi talks about. The Guru Sahib, they said to Maharaj, they said to the Guru, that how is the world? You came from the world, how is the world down there? We've been in the mountains meditating for so long. How is the dunya? The Guru Sahib said, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj said, the world is on fire. The world is burning, and those people who can do something, save it, they're hiding away in the mountains doing bhakti. I.e., Sikhi is not a path of go hide in the jungle. Some do that. The 1%, 5% do that, and that's fine. That's their route. But the ideal Sadhu the ideal Sikh is meant to live in the world, but detached in the head. No? So the dunya, Jagat Jananda Maharaj says, the world is on fire, the world is burning, we see it all around us, corruption, politicians don't care about you. This is the truth. Okay? We always invite politicians into our Guru Kar, they don't really care, honestly. Right? And the world's on fire. The lust in the world, the kaam, the krodh, the vices are at an all-time high, Maharaj. So this is what Kal Yuga is about. And we are meant to go in the dunya and do something. That's why we've been given a Shastra. Who else has been given a Shastra? Right? So we have a responsibility. And that's why I want to make very clear. A lot of us don't understand that we have a responsibility. So look. So we're going to do a very quick, very short, all of you know this already. Okay? A very basic overview of the what, the who, and the why of Sikhi. Okay? Which we should be able to explain to someone, explain to a non-Sikh in English. Yeah? That's the main key. That's why I included this basics before we get into the questions and the scenarios. So, what is Sikhi? Fifth largest religion in the world. What's another word for religion? A faith. Yeah? So sometimes people will come to you and say, what faith do you believe in? Faith, matlab, religion as well. It's the same thing, it's a group. It's people who believe in one thing, right? Keep very clear, belief in one creator who's all around us and inside us. This line that I have bolded, I think I've said it 1,000 times now in the past day. I don't know, right? I want everyone to memorize this line. This as well. This one-liner. This one-liner can change the perception of what whoever you're talking to, their perception of what Sikhi believes in. Okay? So I've talked to some people before this talk came to existence. I asked some Sangat members, yeah? I said, imagine I'm a non-Sikh. I come to you and say, yo, what God do you believe in? And they start to bring up Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Very valid point. Of course, Maharaj is Paramesar for us. For us, God Paramesar, Ekojam, they're the same thing. Guru Granth Sahib is a valid answer for a Sikh, for a Punjabi, if you're speaking to one of those groups. But does the average non-Sikh know what Guru Granth Sahib is? No, they ask you what God do you believe in? What creator do you believe in? So the answer should be, ideally, we believe in one creator who's all around us and inside us. Okay? So please memorize this line. They're the obvious. Again, we believe in our gurus, in our 11, 12 gurus, right? Who's our 12th guru? Pop quiz. The Panth as well. The Panth was the people. So Maharaj is something that has never happened before in the history of mankind. That they grew a people in the span of 200 years from Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj to Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. That a people themselves got the Gurgati, they got leadership themselves. They were ready to then rule for themselves. They didn't need, so yeah, the Gurgati was given to Guru Granth Sahib Ji and the Khalsa Panth themselves, the people themselves. A lot of people forget that as well. So now who? Again, started by Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, our first Guru. We're going to go into how to explain what a Guru is to a non-Sikh as well. That's very zaruri. And a Sikh. Very simple. A Sikh is someone who follows the Guru. No other question, no other matlab up and down to that. Yeah? And with that being said, a Sikh is nothing without their Guru. Right? Sikhi is very simple. Sikhi is very, very simple. You don't need to make it complicated. Sikhi is the Guru. A Sikh is nothing without their Guru. Okay? And now, very common thing, we all have probably heard, yeah? A Sikh is a student. Everyone loves to say this, and that's true, right? A Sikh is nothing but a student. Does that make the Guru a teacher? Who thinks that makes the Guru a teacher? I see one hand, very brave hand. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Agam Singh, does that make the Guru a teacher?
Not sure.
You're not sure? So, no other. Want a teacher for everyone? Okay. So I see 1, 2, 3 Sikhs. Everyone else is Sikh or no? Guru Sahib was a teacher, but that's not what we're gonna say, yeah? So, and I agree with that term. Maharaj is a teacher. Maharaj teaches us everything that we know to be the truth. Okay? But Maharaj is not just a teacher. Now Agam Singh, tell me, what's your favorite class in school? Physics?
Science.
Science? Okay. Now, do you go to your science teacher and matha take your science teacher? Yeah? You don't bow down to your science teacher. Oh, bless me with science again. Right? You don't do that. But we go to Guru Sahib and matha take to Maharaj. So how can Maharaj just be a teacher? Teacher is a very low level of status that we're given to the Guru, yeah? So, and then a prophet. So we'll see a lot of people of other faiths, yeah? So you're gonna get Muslims coming to you, you're gonna get Christians coming to you. You're gonna get an average atheist coming to you and ask you, what did your prophet do? What did your prophet say? They jump to prophet right away. Now prophet ki hai? Who can tell me what a prophet is?
Messenger.
Messenger, fair. Yeah. Any other?
Same as him, yeah. Messenger sent by God to give the God's message as per Muslims.
You want to say something?
Spiritual teacher.
Spiritual teacher. Okay. Good. Yeah. A prophet is basically a spokesperson of God, kind of. Okay? They hear a message, they let it out. Was Guru Sahib this? Not exactly. Okay? So a prophet is again a lower level of what Maharaj is for us. Okay? Guru Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, was here to transform the world, change the dunya. Okay? Now a lot of us know Maharaj to be Jagat Guru as well. Jagat means for the world, right? Guru Sahib was here as the Guru for the world. Okay, for every single person. Like a wave. This is an analogy, very famous analogy that I also want you to memorize. Sorry, Adda presentation today, half of the presentation should be memorized. Okay? I'll make notes. You can have notes after this as well, once we get to the scenarios. Okay? But Maharaj is like a wave. that comes out of the ocean. Now what's the ocean? Samudra. What is the ocean?
Non-ending.
Ocean is non, huh? No limitations. And why good, right? So the ocean is God. The ocean itself is the creator that we're talking about. Okay? And Guru Sahib is like a wave that comes out of this ocean. Now tell me, what is the difference between a wave and the ocean? Maybe. Tell me. The wave is part of the ocean, right? It's just a different shape of the same essence, right? And that is what the Guru is for us. The Guru Sahib was not a prophet then, right? So like a moonless night, Kal Jogya, this age that we live in, is a very dark age. I already went through this. The vices, the corruption. It's a very evil age that we live in. And in this age, Satguru Nanak Pargataya. And they were Pargat. They came to be, from nothing, Maharaj came to be Meki Tund Jag Chanan. Jag, the dunya, was enlightened. Chanan, like a moon, Maharaj came to be in a moonless night. So this light that Guru Sahib had, this light was not Maharaj's own light. This is the light of a Kalburg. Via the Guru, they had no I in them, they had no Hame in them. Now we all know this as well. These are valid points to explain to someone when they ask you, who was your Guru? If you're a Sikh, you should know who your Guru is, right? I'll do that. I was supposed to do this at the start of the presentation. I'll do it now. Who here is a Sikh? Who identifies as a Sikh? Please raise your hand. Jalman Singh, no? Kind of.
Definitions by Gurbani definitions.
I know. Now, who's a good Sikh? One brave hand. Right? So, good Sikh. Everyone loves to be a Sikh, Ajkal, right? So we all want to call ourselves a Sikh. Badiya, that's good, it's no issue in that. But who are you a Sikh of? You have to be a Sikh of somebody, right? That's a good Sikh, right? Good Sikh, someone, a Sikh of the Guru. Okay, very simple. And the Guru is one who takes us from darkness to light, and to take us to enlightenment, right? Our purpose in this life. So again, Guru means darkness. Guru means that we all know this. Okay? Aap Narayan Kalatar Jag Mein Parvai, right? That Niranga, that God themselves, Akal Purkh themselves, came into this dunya when all else had failed. The world was at its worst peak, yeah? That's where God chose to come in. Now, these are good points, but you won't be able to explain the whole talk to if someone comes to you asking specific questions, you can take these out, right? And explain to someone, yeah, Guru means darkness, Guru means light. Thus Maharaj was not a prophet, way more than a prophet, like a wave out of the ocean. And the moon, does the moon shine with its own light? It shines with the sun's light, yeah? So, good analogies to remember, okay? That was a little side check on what the Guru is, yeah? Not a prophet, not a teacher. Now why Sikhi? Again, very, very basic. Again, someone asks you, right? Why do you follow Sikhi? Why do you want to follow Sikhi? Why not something else? Sikhi connects us back to that Creator. It takes us, not just connects, it shows us the way. Guru Sahib shows us the way. And how to live in this world, and to stand for justice, protect those being oppressed. Like I said earlier, the job of a Sant Safai, the job of a Khalsa, right? The Sikh. And to build a more, because our end goal is technically, in this Kaljug, to bring Satyajug. Technically that's our goal. And everyone wants to say, that's all we should do. Focus on yourself, focus on yourself. But isn't that selfish, brother? It's a little selfish. Because Maharaj sent us into this world to be an active part, to change the world. Because Maharaj themselves changed the world. And now if we're supposed to be the hands and toes of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, we are supposed to be doing their job. And now we're stuck doing our apni job. How does that make sense? Makes no sense. Okay? We are supposed to be here doing the job of what a Sikh is supposed to do. That is to change the world. Okay? Now, before we get into our questions, we're going to go through our identity. Why do we have this identity? Right? The first thing someone sees when they spot us is our dastar, commonly known as a turban. Okay? Agam Singh, what's a dastar for you?
Crown.
It's a crown. Good. And you just read that?
That he taught that.
Right. So, the dastar for us, a crown, responsibility, stands for equality, stands for many things. Practicality as well, it's meant to protect our case underneath as well, yeah? But now to our case, our uncut hair. Is this only the hair on the top of our head?
This is all our hair.
All of our hair. All over our body, yeah? And the idea is, but before I get to that, people will again come to you and ask you, why don't you cut your hair? Why do you have a piece of cloth on your head? And now, what I've noticed is a lot of us resort to saying, my guru said so. Now tell me, that's a valid answer again. Every answer that I give, it's a very valid answer. But is it a valid answer in our workplaces and where we live at? Is that a valid representation of what Sikhi is? Not really. And the thing is, Sikhi is all about Satbatan. It is. There's one point that you get to, you gotta stop questioning. Well, you're told, Hukam manya ho vai parwan. Ta khasmak gav mahal paisi. Right? That's accept one's hukam, accept Maharaj's hukam. That is how the Sikh does not care about, let me get to God, let me get to God. The Sikh can't do it by themselves. The Sikh, the only thing a Sikh cares about is let me get Guru Sahib's kirpa. Let me get Guru Sahib's grace, and via this grace, I will attain what Maharaj already said will happen. But hukam manya hu vai, that has to be, it's contingent upon hukam manya. But if when someone asks you, why do you look this way, are you going to straight jump to, because my Guru said so? No. The thing about Sikhi, we have the answers. Jawab hai, we have the answers. We have the answers. This is why I carry Kirpan. We'll get to that in a second. But we, as a Panth, have not trained ourselves, have not prepared ourselves to give these answers because we've stopped caring. We forgot that we are representing the Guru. Now, case, accepting the way that the Creator has made us. Accepting the way that the Creator has made us, yeah? So, loving ourselves for who we are. It's a very simple definition, right? But a lot of us love to jump to, oh, my Guru said so. And now that gives us a visible identity. Okay? That gives us a rule, a saroop that says that, you cannot hide anymore. Okay? Now you're going to be asked, very common question after this, why don't you want to hide? Why do you not want to hide? Sorry. I'm saying, why do you want to stand up? That's so. You're at your school. You're the only person with the kirpan up here. Why do you want to stand up? Has anyone ever asked you this, brother?
No, not the exact question.
Not exact question, right? But what if someone did? What would you say? to it? ideally, we want to stand out so we can help people. That's a very straightforward answer. So when you see a police officer, you know where to go to. Yeah, kyun? Because they have an identity. They have a special look, yeah, that the rest of the world doesn't have. And the special thing about us is that we're on duty 24/7, but our identity never leaves our body. Okay, so our discipline is much stronger. Now, well, that's the starting case, yeah? The rest of our Panchkakar we'll get into. Number one, Kirpan, the most controversial one, okay, in the world that we live in. Okay? And a very simple explanation, Kirpan is a reminder to help anyone, regardless, it's a very key word, regardless of their race, their religion, their sexual orientation, anything that divides us in the modern world, I am to help. When I feel my kirpan on me, it's a reminder to do good. It's not an opportunity to help someone, it's an obligation. Matlab obligation, matlab, you have to. Just like you have to go to work or you're fired. And a lot of us, that's our priority right now, right? We have to go to school. It means you have to help someone. If your classmate, someone's being bullied, I'm saying, what do? You have to help. You have to step in. That's your responsibility. That's what the responsibility is. Yeah? A cut up, very simple again. Handcuffs. It's a reminder to do good with these hands. If I'm gonna go do something wrong, do something bad, I'm meant to see my kara and it's meant to stop me. That's why many Sikhs choose to wear two kare. That becomes handcuffs, right? Handcuffed to who though? Handcuffed to the handcuffed to the Guru. Everything goes back to the Guru, right? The Kanga reminded to stay clean. Very simple again. Very simple as well. We're told to comb our face, to comb our hair, our blessed hair that we've been blessed with, twice a day. Akashira to control our desires. Very simple. You don't have to dive deep into it. Lord me, half the time they don't care that much. Okay? Now, we're 30 minutes in, 30 minutes of Egget, and the last 30 minutes we're going to go over some questions, some scenarios, Tika, that they're gonna have to deal with in the world, Tika. So, and one thing I'll note here, or I'll mention here, the reality is there are other groups in this world right now, in this area that we live in as well. And they're preparing and they're discussing about the Sikhs. Okay? Should I say it again? Make sense? There's other people, okay, there's vakre groups, faith groups, that are literally getting together, discussing who are these Sikhs and how do we convert them. And one of their key points that they say is, they're very weak in their faith. Why? That's a very main point. We don't understand how to defend ourselves. Because now if someone comes to you and starts attacking you with their words, Tika, with their words, are they attacking you or are they attacking the Sikh identity? Remember, you let go of yourself when you took Amrit. You're not even there. We don't exist. If the I doesn't exist, they're technically coming at, they're not even coming at you as a person. They're coming at your kirpan. They're coming at your dasta, your gaze. Now this is all Maharaj's. Pailangaji also says, this technically becomes Maharaj you're listening to. If you can't say anything, you just choose to walk away. What did you do? What did you get if you're not able to say something? And especially if the person in front of you, they're ready to learn, they're ready to listen. जो तैयार है सुनने वास्ते तैयार है, they're ready to listen, then you should be able to say something. Okay? Because then it's disappointing. Right? Then we walk away kind of lost. Now, first question, the famous question, pehla sawal. Normally pehla sawal kirpan te aanda hai, but let's say your kirpan didn't decide. And then the most question is, so if you see a religious person come to you most of the time, they'll say, what God do you believe in? As you say, what God do you believe in? Nice. Right? Decent. Right? That's a good answer. So what God do you believe in? Like I said, like our third slide. One creator. Not Guru Granth Sahib, you said that. You can't say that. Okay? For those who read, the story that, I asked a couple of people in the Sangat, yeah? Imagine I'm a non-Sikh. Imagine I'm a non-Sikh, and I come to you and say, what God do you believe in? And one of the jawab siga, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So, is sawal theek hai or no? What do we think? Jo honi hai, what do we think? You have to say something. Look at this camera. What do you think?
Simple समझाना है hard है because for them मतलब उन्होंने वो गुरु नहीं जान सकते उन्होंने के जितना बाइबल या जितना कुरान या है ना this is just a text from God है ना but it's not your guru.
It's not good. So it's not your guru. That's a good point. But then if they ask you what God do you believe in, sit there you say I believe in Guru Nanak. Makes sense. Good, but means it ek ho ja. That's a good answer. If you're going to a Punjabi, if you're going to a Sikh, they get it. But now if you go to a Muslim, will they get it? Or will that make the situation not make sense in their It's not going to make sense in their Right? So the jawab to this question is very simple. It's meant to be kant. Okay? Bani kant karni hai, obviously. This has to be kant as well. This phrase, yeah? We believe in one creator. The Guru da mention hi nahi karna. Why? We're trying to get a message across, right? One creator is all around us and inside us. Full stop. Islam. Okay?
So we can say that one body can Allah, some people call Allah, some people call Ram, some people call, Jesus Christ, whatever. We had
Exactly. We were just going to get there. Right? But Anam, right? There's no name. Now, next follow-up question they're going to ask you. So, is this the Abrahamic God you believe in? What a very good look. This is what you are in. Good. So, does anyone know what the Abrahamic God ki hunda? Most of us Punjab to hai, not me, but utthe jada Abrahamic nahi hun chal raha hai right now, right? Jesus Christ is going up, okay? But look, yeah. So Abrahamic God, we should know this term. Appa itthe wethe and then we should know this term. Yeah. Oh, you know?
Yeah, I think so. I can try. So Abrahamic God is the God which goes to the same philosophy of Muslims, Christians, and Jews as well. It follows the same thing as all three of them.
It started with who? Started with Abraham.
Yes.
Exactly. So, saying at it right, who is the Abrahamic God? Put it on another ityas we'll look at. Literally one slide, tension alo. But yeah, this term again refers to the creator from the three religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Okay, it's a collective term. They believe in this one creator, which is the Abrahamic God. But they all have. Funny thing is, all three of them have vakre interpretation of this one. Okay. And they basically trace their roots back to a prophet 4,000 years ago, Abraham, just saint of God, they all three of those faiths, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, believe in this one prophet, and they have a lineage. They start at the lineage. It gets stopped. That's Judaism. Through Judaism, Jesus Christ comes into this earth. Via Jesus Christ, Christianity begins. Prophet Muhammad comes and he says, I completed it. I am the last prophet. So it's like one single story, right? So yeah, referring to this shared concept of God. Now, wait for Ben to take a picture. I can share these parts as well. So we'll go through this other analogy. This is my favorite analogy, I think. I heard Bhai Jagras Singh use it many years ago in their videos. Now imagine a pind, a village. There's 8 9 jane. They're all blind. Unfortunate, sorry, blind. Okay, I don't know how. But they're all blind. No, dikhda nahi hai. Just like us. Sanu dikh raha nahi hai. What's the sach? But that's what Guru Sahib is here for. Maharaj shows us what the sach is, right? So in this analogy, there's 9 blind men. They can be women as well. But they go and see an elephant, alright? They find an elephant, they don't know it's an elephant. Ek banda jaake kehta hai, oh, it feels like a tail. They start feeling it. Feels like a tail. Feels like a horn. Feels hard like a horn. Feels like something soft. Start touching the skin. Now they're blind. And with their hands they're feeling this elephant. But the thing is, all of them are talking about the same elephant. They're talking about the same hathi, but using different terms to describe it. Now this is what God is like. This is what the Creator is like. The Creator is the elephant. And every single faith is now describing that same Creator as different things. So when they ask you this, very simple. Yes, Sikhs believe that we all worship the same Creator, regardless of what name you want to give him. Okay? So yes, it is the same Creator as the Abrahamic God. It is the same one. Okay? We all believe in the one. Ek pita, ek asya. They won't understand this sometimes, right? Because what they want to get into is your God versus my God. Like, what is this? God is looking down and laughing. Like, but there's only one. It doesn't make sense. Yours or mine. Because you got to make it clear to them that you, as a certain faith, does not own God. Does not own Vaheguru, Akal Purakh. A certain faith, a label, a group does not own Vaheguru. But Vaheguru owns all the faiths. That's how it works. Rangi Pati, Maya, Rangi. Different colors, different looks. When you put two things next to each other, not the same Saroop, but dono different, they both look different. Why? This is the Khel of Vaheguru. This is how God wanted it to be. Now, after you tell them that God lives, God is everywhere, omnipresent, inside you and outside you. The first question is going to be, how do you know, or how can God be everywhere? Okay? Now, a lot of us find this tricky to answer, right? Oh, how can God be? Well, I'm confused with that. Right? That shouldn't happen. Have bharosa in Maharaj. Have bharosa in your Sikhi. Understand this to be the truth. Now, and sometimes it's foolish answers as well. I mean, foolish questions. They're just messing with you. Right? Well, how can God be everywhere? Of course God can be everywhere. Kyun nahi? So question them. they ask you a question, how can God be everywhere? You can question them back, why can't God be everywhere? Are you limiting God? That's what they're doing now. They're in a box. Their marriage is outside of this box. You cannot put Sikhi into no box. Ho hi nahi sakda. This is beyond. Look at Reed Jobs are beyond, right? Now, Ustabad, you might get such a question as well. A lot of times it's the Muslims, okay? So it's the Muslims who will ask you such a question. How, so if you think God is everywhere, how can God be in the toilet? Right? They give you such a question. Why? Because they believe the toilet is dirty. Technically is. But then they say God is so pure, pavitra, so pure. How can such a pure God be in such a filthy dunya? The world is so dirty, and God is so clean. How can God be in this world? Ho hi nahi sakda. So that's their limitation, yeah? Does someone want to answer this before we get to the surprise?
It might be like this world is really dirty too. It's not pure. So why did He make us, right? I don't know. Why would He make an unpure thing and I don't know. I just can't elaborate.
So here's the response to what he's trying to say. That it's not just the toilet, the world itself is filthy.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah,
you're saying that, so you're saying that it's not just the toilet that's filthy, the whole world is filthy, right? That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But then they'll say, what's your guru cars are filthy? Did you do your praying? Confusing, right? How do you answer this? This is us again. Oh, good.
I was going to say, Gurmat on the air, that God is hell, God is heaven. So if Mahdi says that God is heaven and God is hell, then hell is obviously the worst of the worst, even directly in the toilet level. And how can you make a difference?
So God does everything.
At the end of the day, it's the energy, and one way to put it, like ek onkar na, ek ka matlab, if you look at a percentage, 100%, it has to be made for something, and there's only that one being at the end of the day. So it can't be made from nothing, as there's obviously that one. And
So there's nothing
like
else
there's only that one,
Haji.
and there's 100%. So you can't go 110% or something. You can't say that there's a 10% that's done. That makes sense.
Right. So
Yeah.
there's nothing outside of that one. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're that whole one,
Yeah.
that creator,
Yeah.
God put up hello, they're everywhere,
Mm.
is pure. Right. So that's exactly what we're getting to. So what is pure? Oh.
No. No, the answer to the previous question, I think Bani answers it. Is that Pati Tora Namani Pati Pati Jiva? Right? Just Pati Pati Tora, so Pati. So, the beauty of the world is that the Creator created the world, right, and exists in all the creations that He created. So, now whether the creation is a toilet or a guru car, right, guru exists there.
Exactly.
Now whether it's a bacteria or we can consider ourselves to be pure, or we can consider plants to be pure, whatever, right?
Color,
It-
man. Right? Yeah, exactly. So the creator is in the creation, and the creation is in the creator. This won't make sense to them. They want it. That the creator, Mananola, is in the Manayoti. They won't understand this. And then they won't understand that this Manayoti is also in the creator. Okay? Sometimes we don't understand this as well. The thing is, our brains are not meant to understand this. That's one thing we have to understand as well. Some things are experienced, and That's what Sikhi, that's what Guru Sahib will tell you. And not everything is meant to be.
I feel, it all depends upon the belief system, how strong you believe in something. Like Muslim believe something, Sikhs believe something, and Jewish or Christianity believe something. But to explain them how the God is present everywhere and all, first you have to believe in something. That's what I feel.
You have to.
Ourselves, but you can't convince somebody that okay, you have
right,
God,
exactly.
you have this and
Exactly.
that. It all depends upon our belief system. How do you believe? How do you see your God?
Yeah, exactly. Very valid point, right? So, analogy related to this: only a lit candle can light another candle.
Yeah.
So if you're not lit yourself, how do you expect? If you don't understand this basic of Sikh, this is no basic, this is no katha and no gyan. No, this is like 1 plus 2 of Sikhi, we should all understand this, yeah? If we don't understand it ourselves, how are we going to make it make sense to the non-Sikh, right, when we're questioning? ठीक है?
No, I just said women for and God, when the Sahaj Ave, women sort message, women sort of that.
Exactly, well, the Guru. So, what is pure? Now, imagine you eat an apple, you eat fruits, yeah? When you get the fruit, you say thank you, God. Say thank you, Vaheguru. Food is so pure. Ardas karke, safai karke, you eat the food. But then when the food goes out, it's pure, it's unpure. You say it's waste, yeah? But if the seed goes into the ground, the food comes again, you say thank you, again. Everything's recycled. Everything is what? Everything at the end of the day is molecules, is atoms. It's just science, yeah? People say there's no science in Sikhi. So what is this? It's a very scientific picture. At the level of atoms, molecules, right? These things you need microscopes to see these things, yeah? God resides in them, in that. Everything, science will tell you, everything is made up of these molecules, these atoms. Now, these molecules are everywhere, now including a toilet, including this desk, including this microphone. These molecules are inside every single thing. That means a Galprak is inside, God is inside, this creator is inside every single thing, right? Very simple, right? Remember the food analogy. It's very good analogy to make this make sense to someone. Right? So they come to you asking you, how can God be in the inside? You ask them, what is pure? In your Maharaj says pure is inside. Purity is inside. There's only a level of purity Suchamta will be able to keep in the world that we live in. There's Gandhi all around us. But Maharaj put the emphasis back into inside you. Real purity is achieved when you embrace God, embrace the Guru. Take on the gunas, take on the virtues of that happy soul bride, that bride, that soul bride who's been married to Vaheguru. The guns of Khema was forgiveness, of sat, of truth, of love, of santokh, contentment. These things we don't have anymore. And no one puts emphasis, but that is the idea, I guess, the essence of Sikhi. That's what we're trying to get to. Take those guns on and let go of your kam, your growth, control on that growth. When you feel like it's taking over, look at that. It's like people describe anger. I'll describe it myself as well. When I feel angry, it's like a cloud of just red, and like you just get so angry and frustrated. Lust, when you see the Prayaroop, opposite gender, how do you behave there? Where are your eyes going? Don't you dare, like Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj is being told at the age of 9, in their Shariric age, in their bodily age at the age of 9, to not go into the bed of another woman even in your dreams. Sopne vich. Maharaj says, Nis nari ke saath, neho tum nit badaiyo, par nari ke sej, pool sopne hona chahiye. Pool, galti de naal bhi, even by mistake, don't make this mistake. Even by mistake, Maharaj is telling Guru Govind Maharaj, go into the bed of another woman even in your dreams. Now other faiths, this is the truth, okay? Other faiths will tell you, Sopne vich kuch galt kita, it's okay. Sopna siga, it's out of your hand. That's the truth and that's what they tell you. Now Guru Sahib kya hai ki Sopne vich if you do something wrong, you're still at fault. It's still your fault. Why? Because we can actually control our dreams. We're told you can't control your dreams. Sopna, it's okay. But now, example, this is again, we're getting sidetracked, Mafi. But this is Zaruri as well. An example, if all day, I remember when we were buying a gaddi, all day we were shopping for gaddiyan. Sopne vich kiya? Sopne vich gaddiyan aayi. Right now I'm studying the eyes. I'll be honest, sopne vich I see akkhan. It's weird. But this is how it works. Now, if all day, yeah, if day goes by, you're at work, in school, you're looking at Prayaroop, okay? You're looking at the opposite gender, you don't know your boundaries, so what would you, if you're looking, you're scrolling on social media, it's pure gun, yeah? It's pure gun. What are you going to get dreams of it? Gand, right? Now if you're looking at Gand all day, you'll get dreams of Gand. So beware, okay? Be very careful. Guru Sahib is very strict on this. Your dreams are judged as well. Man bach karam. And now you can influence your dreams. I'm not sure how we got there, but I'll go back to this. Now, we have a little more, Tika, then we're done. But, so, Hati, back to this. Keeping your hair is unclean. Now you're going to get thrown. Haji,
Why?
why is it unclean? So that's what they're going to come to you. Well, it is unclean. What are you going to say with it?
Why?
Okay, good. Like I said before, we're going to question them back. If they come to you questioning you, you can flip the switch, you can flip the question on to them. Why do you think it's unclean? Like we just went through, what is pure, what is not pure. If a Kalpurak is everywhere, a Kalpurak can be in a toilet as well. Why do you think you are? Right? Now, keeping your hair, simple, keeping your hair isn't unclean. We're told to shower twice a day. I'm not clean. Right? Very simple. Now, if you want to get, if they're ready to listen to you, if they actually want to learn, you tell them. We're told to live in the will of God. In the will. Yeah? Will is the word. Hukam. Hukam. Like we said, Shuru de hukam manya. Oh, Parwan. Then you Parwan. Hukam manya. Panch Parwan. Yeah, you want to get there? Hukam manya. Oh, Parwan. Ta khasma ka main bhai. Now, we're told to live in the will of God, to love ourselves, and then we'll be able to love God. So how can you love? This is an analogy that I like to give as well. How can you love the artist if you can't love the art piece? Now, if you can't love how you're made, how can you love the one who made you? So, and like I said, you can't go to someone and tell them first step is you go keep your case. So a lot of modern day pracharas love to do that. First thing they'll tell you is keep your case. At least, is that the first stage? No. It's not how it works. Andaro, you grow that prem from Maharaj. Andaro, you do your simran, you do your bhakti. You fall in love with Kirtan, you experience the bliss. And then you get to a stage where it's like, yo, why am I doing this? Why do I need to cut my hair? Why do I need to cut my hair to please the dunya when I know I'm accepted for the way I am? And I love myself for the way I am. Okay? So this is again very simple, but we need to be able to say this. Okay? That's the thing. Hanu Sarenu, you all know everything in this presentation. The key is to understand how to articulate your words. So just speak this out in confidence. Practice these lines. Kanth karo, like I said this already. Gurbani kanth karni hai. This presentation should also be kanth, yeah? No. Now, 2 weeks ago, एक सिंह का call आया मैंने. A Singh, a pyara Singh called me from Sangat, yeah? His sawal was, at work there was a Muslim. A Muslim came to him, and he's very technical, I think. He's very happy, always kirpan out. He's out there, he's ready. He came to a point, he came to a point where the Muslim said, yo, you're just a mix of Hinduism and Islam. Guru Nanak Dev Ji just took the Quran, the Vedas, and copied it. This is Sikhi. That's what he was told. What is this? Right? Nonsense. But you have to be prepared for such questions, yeah? So now that's all. How would you answer this question? Tell me, anyone? I saw your hand, sorry.
I was going to say that there's only one God, and that there's going to be similarities because there's only one God. Everybody's going to have one path towards them, but somewhere along the lines, people have got disoriented, so they've lost their way, and they start following their own one, but they've lost their way and they've start following the way of the dunya. Yeah. So this is where like Islam, Hinduism. The thing is, they weren't all divided into groups until we put them into groups. If you put that like Horna Hindu that like the meaning of Hinduism or Hindu comes from the word comes from a group of people that lived on that side of a river. Yes. Yeah, Sindhi River.
Yeah.
And from there they got termed Hindus, and then obviously Horna in there there's different gods and so on, and then.
But how does that explain?
So there's only one God.
Yes.
All of them have.
But they're saying there's only one God. But there's another Kanaki, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. There's not Guru Nanak. They just took the Quran. There's only Ikra, but they took the Quran, copy paste. They took the Vedas, copy paste. Now how do you tackle that? Just say no, you're lying.
It's that the Garibani we always get, and that the master gave us that when they came out of the Vein Nadi, and when they were alone in the Vein Nadi, and they came to see the Gurmat and
Alok no ki gang in English. Yeah, exactly.
Disappeared for 3 days, and when they came to see the Gurmat, and they get the moon markers and Bible markers from them, and we always listen in the Sakhis that whenever they're doing the Kirtan to the Kalmadana, and it's always a Dragari money. So it's not from Quran and from the Vedas, and next one is
Exactly. That's a good answer.
and the another thing can tell. So when they came out of the main Nadi, the first Nara they gave to the Sangat that Nabi Muslim. So it's very clear that Gurmat says by himself that Nabi Muslim. So obviously there's no mixture of Hinduism and Islam. We can say.
But then वो कहेंगे कि they are Muslims, they are Hindus. What would you say? They're Muslim? वो कहेंगे
They are got in a busy group, I guess, but after they got the enlightenment, we can say, they said by themselves that he not getting Muslim, so we have in our group, and we have to believe in one creator.
That's it's a good answer, yeah? A follow-up question would be, right, if you...
Cross question, how do you know about this?
How
Did you
do-
read, like, cross question, how do you know about this? Like, cross question the person, how do
That's
you
a
know
one-on-one
about
question.
this? Yeah. Did you read it somewhere or did you study scripture? How do you landed on this conclusion? So we can analogy.
Okay, they read it somewhere.
Sheikh Farid ji Bani is present in Gurbani, and Kabir Das ji's Bani and
So,
all.
for instance, ऐसा मान लेते हैं कि you are the person who brought this up कि Guru Granth Sahib Ji is a compilation of Hindu texts and Islamic texts, ठीक है? So we are having a conversation, and ऐसी बहुत बारी street पे चले चल करते हैं वो owning the conversation, है ना? So Penji's point is a very good point कि we turn the tables, है ना? And we ask the person who asked the question, okay, what makes you say this, है ना? So say for instance, you could say कि because जिਵੇਂ बीजी said कि Guru Granth Sahib Ji ਵਿੱਚ Muslim saints ਦੀ ਵੀ ਬਾਣੀ है ना? And Hindu ਭਗਤ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਬਾਣੀ है ना? Hindu saints ਦੀ है. So ਉਹਦਾ follow up ਇਹ है ना कि because the truth is not exclusive to Sikhi, है ना? क्योंकि महाराज says कोई बोले राम राम कोई खुदा है कोई सेवा सेना कोई अल्लाह है, but at the end महाराज says कहो नानक जे हुक्म पछाता प्रभ साहिब का इंतेज जाता, है ना? So it's really kind of, I know I see street पर चल रहे भी उधर ही spell कर रहे हैं सारियाँ, but again it's a lot about turning the tables and own the conversation, है ना?
Exactly. So, turning the tables, but turning it wisely as well. So if you turn the tables, they जो follow-up सवाल आ गया, confuses you so much कि तुझे आप right? So turn the so if you were to turn the table and say कि how did you hear, who said, basically, what makes you say that? Okay, I read it online. Then what? So always be ready for the follow-up जो आ सकता है, हाँ जी बताइए.
The other question we get a lot is, like there is a lot of mention of Ram, Shiv, Brahma, Allah. So they also take that into consideration, and I think this is how they come back with that, saying that like these are all the gods. I know that they are just, I mean, Guru Granth Sahib is just referring to the universal creator with those names, but they own that like your scripture it actually describes our gods.
Exactly. So those who are more on the Hindu end, right? They normally know about this. Because the Muslim will probably not know about this. But they probably know about this. They bring this up. So you worship your Shivaji, you worship your Ram, thus you're a Hindu. Yeah. They bring up the things from Islam. Okay. The idea of one creator, right? They basically, and why I keep saying I read it online, because there are websites out there, there are forums out there, okay? There are basically, it's well known, this fact, in their communities, in the Muslim community, in the Christian community, this is a well known fact for them. Sikhi is just a combination of the two faiths. Okay? So how are we going to tackle this? Like many of you said, where there is truth, it remains the same. Very simple. The truth in the Quran that you find, you will find it in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. The truth in the Quran, the truth in the Bible, you will find it in the Sikhi as well. You'll see a lot of Puratan Christianity, I'll call it, that's the name of it. The historic, the ancient, 2,000 years ago Christianity is very similar to what Sikhi is today. This is the truth. Sant Baba Harnam Singh Ji, they also mention, and in their book, in their life, in their Jeevani, they were doing Bhagdi. ठीक है? एक दिन they were doing Bhagdi. And they get a vision. They get darshan, but not of Guru Sahib. They actually get darshan of Jesus Christ. ठीक है? Exactly. So the Jesus says to Santaji, okay, they say, कि my people have gone astray. My people, meaning the Christians, they have gone astray. They've forgotten Akal Purukh's name. If I was around today, I would tell my Christians to follow Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Sikhi. In the Lord's Prayer, the Christians say, "Great is your name." वो कहते हैं, "Great is your name." ऊंचे ऊपर ऊंचा नाव. Naam is the worthy thing out there, is the greatest thing out there. The Christians on the Bible is like, yeah, but what naam then? They don't take it. So that's the thing, right? So they've gone a little astray. It's fine. But anyways, there's truth, it remains the same. Okay? And then so again, this analogy by Jagat Singh we use all the time. Having a PhD doesn't mean you don't believe in higher school. It's a process. It's just because you have a PhD in something doesn't mean high school doesn't. What is taught in high school could be known by the one who's done their PhD, highest level. So if you're in high level maths, doesn't mean the low level math doesn't exist. It's just that the low level maths is also the truth, and that math is inside the PhD maths. Okay? So these are analogies. Now, where there is truth in any faith, it shows in Sikhi, right? So imagine a number line, or number line here, right? 100% right here, 0 right here. Sikhi is very clear, we are at 100%. Guru Sahib brought the complete truth of Sikh. Complete truth. Aap Narayana Kalat. Why does it not make no mistake? There's no mistake. The other faiths, we can confidently say that they are not at 100%. They are not. This is the unfortunate truth. Maharaj also says, "Jaise mein aave khasam ki vani." That's right. Kari gyan ve la lo. Talk it to by la lo ji. As the words of the Lord come to me, so I speak them out. Maharaj, aapke Maharaj is saying, Guru Sahib is saying, this is revelation coming to me. Revelation ki on that. Revelation is the words of God. Okay? Muslims will always talk about that Prophet Muhammad was given revelation. Note, Prophet Muhammad Sahib, was not given revelation straight by God, straight by Allah. It was done via an angel. Okay? Via angel Gabriel, they say, Gabriel. There was an angel in between. The angel talked to Prophet Muhammad. They were that message together. Prophet Muhammad did not have straight connection. वो आप कहेंगे ऐसे. हमारा जो आप निरंकार आप परमेश्वर गुरु परमेश्वर एको जान. So if they say, no, you're just the Guru Sahib who just took the Quran, took the Vedas, they made a new scripture. You can say, okay, but Guru Sahib doesn't say so. The Guru says these are the words coming straight from God. So are you calling the Guru a liar? Flip the switch. Question. Flip the question. Are you calling the Guru a liar? Would you like it if I stood here and said Prophet Muhammad is a this and that? Prophet Muhammad is a liar? Jesus Christ did not do this, did not do that? What's going on? Would you like it if I started questioning? If they say no, I'd find that rude. They tell them that, well, this is rude as well. For me, Guru Sahib is speaking the words of God. This is not a fake religion, they like to say. Okay. Straight from God. Oh, so you guys believe that all religions are equal. This is a very common thing. A lot of us think, a lot of us say actually, I've heard this myself, and the Sangha, in Punjabi communities, and Sikhi communities. Oh, we love everyone, we're all the one, every religion is the same. non-Sikh's gonna look at you like you're crazy. This person is worshipping a statue. This person is bowing down to Mecca. The Muslim bowing down to Mecca. This person has a necklace of a cross. This person is reading Bani. How are they all the same? What's the matter? Because it doesn't make sense. Hanji.
So it does because there is only one God, and you're getting from a different way.
Yeah.
Because there is only one God, but you are just getting from a different way.
Hanji. So, good point. There's only one God, and there are different paths to God. But the Sikhs say that each path is equal. Equal matlab they all are the same phal, same fruits. No, they're not equal. Okay? They're not equal. Again, number line. The key is at the 100% spot. Because Maharaj shows us, Maharaj wakes us up. Bhakti will not tell you that you're here to meditate. Simran karanayo. You're here to do bhakti of Parmeswar. Other people will not tell you that. Will not tell you that you're here to experience God. They'll tell you to believe. Believe karo. Have belief, and one day you'll get to Parmeswar, you'll get to Kalbak. But Guru Sahib is very clear. If you keep believing, there's no fall in that. There's no fall. Because the idea is, we're here to meet that Parmeswar, that God, not believe in that God. Okay? Another analogy I give, street day. You're talking non-Sikh. You're trying to explain this. You say, okay, yo, would you rather believe, so you're born, bacha's born, 5 saal, 6 saal bacha. Would you rather believe that your mummy papa exist? I believe, no, I believe that mummy papa exist, or should I go and meet mummy papa? Right? Which one makes more sense? Do you want to go see your parents, or do you want to believe ki hanji they believe they exist somewhere? Right? And that is what God is for us. Now, very clear, we do not believe that all religions are the same. Some have more truth, some have less truth. Okay? What is the same? We believe all people are the same. We believe all places of worship are the same. Right? Gurdwara that you can jap naam, mandir that you can jap naam, mosque, synagogue, every church that you can go and jap naam. It's okay. Right? We have done, we had programs in churches, haven't we? We had Guru Sahib Prakash in places like churches. Then Jithe Maharaj's Prakash, what does that place become? It becomes fruitful, hanji blossoms place. But truthful. Okay, that as well. You're right. But it also becomes the Guru Ka. Okay. Technically does. The Guru Ka is simple. The Guru Ka is a door to the Guru. Right? That you can do to any other place as well, like the church and everything. So all places, all names of God are all the same. But we do need to understand there was a reason why the Guru was sent. If every faith was the same, then Guru Sahib the key matlab. Why did Guru Sahib come? Ram Rahim, Quran, Ek Hai Mat, Ek Ramanyo. It's very clear that their mat, they're different mats, say many things. They say so much. Ek Ramanyo. It's very clear on this. Hindu anna, Turkus Kada, Donate Gyani San. What does this mean? Maharaj is harsh. Maharaj is straight, siddha. Right? If we just read Bani, Maharaj is very clear. A Muslim is one-eyed. Right? Now we would be very scared to go and say this to a Muslim. We would be very scared to go and say this to a Hindu, or you're blind. Maharaj says it. Hindu's blind, Hindu's blind. They can't see Rab. They already see Rab in a statue, in an idol. Why is this against this Murti Puja? The Muslim one-eyed, because Muslim sees that Rab, that Akal Purakh far away, but not inside. But the Gyani, the Sikh, the ideal Sikh becomes a Gyani. Those saints, the Gyanis, the Sikhs, realize this. They understand that Akal Purakh is far away and inside as well. Therefore, we don't believe all the religions are the same, okay? And let's understand this, okay? Now, up here to the last question. One of them, our favorite questions. And then we'll end it. Now, you can't carry a knife that's illegal. Is it illegal? No, it's not illegal. That's the unfortunate part. So imagine we're this guy trying to explain it to the non-Sikh. Okay? The best thing to say right away is actually it's part of my faith and it is legal. It is legal. It is legal. Legal matlab, by law you are allowed. The laws of the land.
I was just gonna say, if you just say it's the law of the land, that's the easiest way and the shortest answer that you can give to them.
Exactly, and you can also add in, right? That it's part of your faith as well. Okay, it's the law. Why is the law so? Why does the law love you, not me? But you have to explain it's part of your faith. Now, I have stars. I put some stars because this is where you have to be the judge for the situation. Not everyone cares. This is the truth. Like I said, you walk into a room at work, anywhere, first time you walk in the room, they are already making assumptions about you. Just from your star, just from the way you look. This is the truth. You don't have to be a Sikh Italian. People start making judgments, assumptions about every single person, just the way they come in. If someone's dressed very nicely, you think someone's not dressed like that, you think many things. So, now if they're ready to learn, if they want to learn. If they're just there to mess with you, boss, you said your thing, it's fine. Walk away. You do not need to engage. Remember, it is not an obligation to engage with someone if they're trying to mess with you. English, I don't know any other way to phrase that, but it happens. They're just trying to poke at you. Okay, and the bullying, right? Talk about bully. And they're simply just trying to do that. You don't have to engage. Now, if it's a school scenario, where would you go? You would go to your parents. You would go to the authorities, so authorities are the principals, your teachers, right? But there's no need to engage with such a person. One time, personal story, 1.5 years ago, I was in the gym, out. A white person came to me. They were this close to my face, and they started yelling at me. Yelling, okay? I look at him, I'm like, are you okay? Is he okay? Right? Obviously he wasn't okay. Because he chose to do that. He thought that was okay. Okay? Now, again, start yelling, saying you're not allowed, it's illegal, these big words. These words, this is why many of us can't keep our kirbans out. That's fair, okay, it's valid as well. Look, if I was to work with children, I wouldn't keep it out. Why would I keep my kirpan out? Why would I do that? Right? It's not appropriate in that area that you're at. But if you're just a free person walking around, it's totally valid to have it out. It's your identity. Okay? Now, if that person is ready to listen, now something for us. What does Guru Sahib Ji say about the law? Does anyone want to chime in? What's a Sikh's responsibility in the dunya regarding the law? All of you are more, wiser than I am. No? Okay, achha. What does Guru Sahib say about the law? For us, as a Sikh, what should we do regarding the law? What does Maharaj tell us? Maharaj ki kehte sanu?
जिन पैर दबना वाणी करा जानियो सो सुख नहीं हमारा.
Haji, but as in like hokam away, hint hokam. Maharaj says, Sikho, law Sikho, learn the law. This is in your 52 hokams. ठीक है? Rajniti, politics. Okay? A lot of us say, yo, stay away from this as well. Why though? Should you not know? Dunya de ki ho raha hai, Sikha de na ki ho raha hai Canada mein? Our singer was shaheed 2 years ago in BC. We don't even care. Maharaj says, care about this. It does not matter if you align with that ideology or not. He was still a singer. I don't care what your view is, ठीक है, on the future of the Panth. But what was the scar on his head? And he was made shaheed for looking this way, ठीक है. Now, Canadian Constitution, I was reading it, and this is the main one, ठीक है, that applies to us. Section 2A of the Constitution of Canada tells us very clearly, freedom. Every single person living on this land has the right to practice their religion freely. Okay? They will take it upon Andiya. This is where Kirpan comes in. Now, 2006, which is something that we should all know as well. It was a case, Multani case. Famous, who's heard about this case? Okay, good, right? So, there was a saying in a school, the Kirpan Girgit. Kirpan, ideally, it's strapped well enough, it never falls, should never leave your city, but it happens. Ho sakta hai. Je hove to what do you do? Haji. Ask karo, maafi karo. Japji sahab as well, try that as well. Okay, next time it happens. Right? Path karke, ardas karke, put it back on. No big deal, but shouldn't happen again, right? Ideally. Now, but the saying that ho gayi before this, Canada had never made no law regarding the Kirpan. People, things did what they wanted to do. Okay, there was no big issue. Why? Because an issue has to come to the Supreme Court for it to become intense, right? For it to become mainstream, that this is our law. Now, the school board, so what had happened? This was a story. The school allowed it. The school said, andar palo, secure karke, you're fine. But the school board, which is the wider, you would know what a school board is, right? So it's not the specific school, it's the board of directors, just sare school, they run. And they said, no, it breaks our bylaws, it counts as a weapon, this is not allowed. Now, they fought this, okay? This was in Quebec. Bill 21, right now, we already know Quebec is not a badiya jaga for religious freedom, okay? And so, but they've been at this since 2006. They're not. So the Quebec courts favored the province. They were hard, okay? They lost the court. They lost the thing, and they took matters into higher authorities, and they took it to the Supreme Court. Do we all know how this system works? There's federal court system, right? There's provincial, federal, and then the Supreme Court is the highest authority in Canada. And if a decision is made at the Supreme Court, it can't go any higher. That's where it's good, right? Now, Mara Zikir it was a 8-0, like vote. It's a vote. So this generally is like good amount of judges up there, and it works like a voting system. Each judge has to vote on the issue. Okay, and we had the World Sikh Organization here standing as well, and other human rights groups in Canada standing for Singh and his family on this case. And simply, in simple words, Supreme Court said that this ban is not justifiable, and it breaks his freedom of religion, right? So, read up on this case, know this case, understand this is ikhlas. This was a turning point for Sikhs in Canada, 2006. Since 2006, it was made valid. A Sikh is allowed to have a kirpan wherever they are, anywhere they are. Okay. Now, this is a frustrating one, okay, for many of us. We go fly. Okay, I fly a lot. I've noticed it's me now telling the security guy, you have to go measure, take your card. Your card is 6 centimeters, measure my kirpan, that's how it works. Right? Sometimes he listens. Recently, so you'll find if you go to Toronto, but yeah, if you go to Vancouver, recently I went to Montreal, she was not happy. The French lady, she was very upset with this. And even more recently, I went to Ottawa, surprisingly, capital of Canada. They were telling me to take it off. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? What do you do there? You call for a supervisor. And with the person, you let them know. Again, like we went through earlier, what is the kirpan? Why do you have the kirpan on? Make it clear. 2 minutes, 1 minute spiel, you should be able to make it make sense to another. It's part of your faith. It never leaves your body when you're showering, when you're sleeping. Make sure you include these two as well. When you say, it never leaves your body showering and sleeping, serious on really? Right? Now, we should know this as well. In Ottawa, I met a Singh, airport there. Singh no nahi pata thiga ki he could carry a kirpan. Without shastra, he was walking around. And the Singh didn't know. I'm like, why? क्यों नहीं पता था हमें कि सिखा ने इतनी लड़ाई की थी they fought so hard to be able to have a 6 centimeter blade on you at all time. And that technically is not breaking no head big time. No, it's not. I know a lot of us believe in the 9 inches. 9 inches होनी चाहिए. Ideally, I guess at least, right? You can do something. You can do something with it. But this is a shastra as well. Anything can become a shastra. 6 centimeters, if it's sharp, if you want to save someone's life. Okay? But so don't laugh at the 6 centimeters, right? It's a valid thing. We've gotten this law to be passed. In 2017, this was allowed since then. Okay? So the blade can be 6 centimeters, we should know this. They basically security they're gonna wand you down. They're going to do the wanding, yeah? They're going to put you to the side, pat you down, pura, right? Sometimes under your shoes as well, what they think is underneath it. And then they're going to measure your blade, measure the kirpan. There's normally outlines on their table. They can put it against their table, or they have an ID card. ID card itself is 6 centimeters. They take it, they put it on their ID card. And another thing, note, never give it to them. Lalo measure kar. What would you ever give your shastra to someone else? Be like, measure? Agam Singh, would you do that? No, right? Then when the security asks you, give me your kirpan, I need to measure it. What would you say? Hanji, you can measure it yourself. Or you would say, I can't let go of it, but I can go with you to measure it with you. Okay? So make them understand that this is very serious. if one Sikh becomes lazy, na, what do they think? It's fine. It's fine, not a big deal. It is a big deal. Take this seriously, please. It's a big deal because many don't take it seriously. I don't understand why. It's your hukam from your guru. Are you gonna believe this guy's hukam or the guru's hukam? Please. Okay? Now, so, yeah, 6 centimeters blade. Oh, this is the ideal response. Now, so if someone comes to you and says, you can't have a kirpan on, ideally, they will again. Very clear, if they're ready to listen. And many times they are. If you look confident. If you don't look confident, they don't care. Like you're weak in your own faith. Then they start making fun of you then. It's our fault. It's our default. Says, handle your own affairs. You can't be doing bhakti all that you should be. But now this has to be, you have to be ready for this as well. So, I will send this out in group chats, okay? The specific group part you can you can try to memorize lines, or you can try to make it make sense to yourself. So when you understand it yourself, then it's more easier to speak when you're put on the spot. Because as a Sikh, you will be put on the spot. Always. You'll be the only Sikh in the room. It's always been like this.
During security, you just measure with the myan on, right? You don't take it out of the myan.
So this is a good question. The blade has to be 6 centimeters. The blade measure karna, it has to come out the myan. Right? That's where the compromise path is made. But that's where the table comes into place. So if there's like a ruler, normally when you go fly at security, you put the kirpan there. They're watching you. Security guy there, you're right here. Kirpan jo measure. They see 6 measures. You put it back in, right? And then go your way. You're okay, right? What if it's more than 6 centimeters? Then Akam Singh, and you didn't watch the presentation. It has to be 6 centimeters. Okay? Fly if you take airport, the airplanes in Canada, right? If you're flying in Canada, it has to be a 6 centimeter blade, and then you're fine. Keep your vaddi kirpan in your luggage, and that way you can fly. Ideally, one day, Khalsa ne Raj karna, we're going to have our apni airline, Khalsa Airways, and we'll be free to wear our shastras inside airline. But right now, we're not at Khalsa Raj yet.
So when you say we defend everybody, I mean we defend people. So do you say that we can kill somebody? Because that's what I was asked, and I discussed it, right? So do you mind shedding the light to everybody so that everybody can know about it?
So, which way were you asked that? You mind me again, sorry?
In every religion they say killing is wrong. We believe in it, right? So we believe we can't kill somebody. So then how do we justify that we can kill somebody to protect his life? And how do we judge the scenario that okay, that person was in danger? What if the other person, if the role is reversed and the person who was in danger was the danger himself. So we saved him from somebody innocent and we took the innocent's life away. So how we
they asked about hukam as well, right?
Yeah.
They said if you want to live in hukam,
why
if
would
you say
you be the barrier and why would you take the life? Why don't you live in the will?
Now, why don't you live in the will of God instead of thinking you can take arms yourself? Good thing, and again, my guru tells me to live in the world and be detached, right? That's detached in my head. Now, when it comes about when they start talking about hukam, when they start talking about free will, you can ask them, you can flip the question again, and ask them what do they believe, what do they think free will is, right? But then back, you can start your question as well, saying that the Khalsa, the ideal Sikh, what the Khalsa is, the Sadh Sabai, the Sant Sipahi, the saintly soldier, Pehla Sant fir Sipahi, right? This is the ideal Sikh, the ideal human being Guru Sahib was trying to make. When the Khalsa came to be, Parmatma ki Maaj, that the Maaj, the Khushi of Akal Purkh Khalsa was made. Okay? So it is the most perfect thing in this dunya that exists right now, is the ideal Khalsa. Okay? And now, for that Khalsa, the Khalsa's mandate is to carry weapons, is to carry a Shastra. Okay? And now, what is the point of this Shastra if you were not going to use it, if you would not use it? Okay? So they put you in a very hypothetical, very tricky situation. Okay? Then what I would say in that scenario, again, one thing when people ask you, never speak for the Panth. Never ever say, Sikhs believe in this. Sikhs don't believe in what you're saying. Never. You're going to start saying Sikhs believe that Sikhs don't eat meat. Some Sikhs do. We can never say, even things like, your case is your Panch Kitab. Not for all Sikhs, no. A lot of Sikhs think their case is, and that's valid. Right? Sant Mahaprabhu have also said that. It's very valid. Okay? That is why, fun fact, someone asked me, the Panch Kakar, the slide I see, why did I put the case key, why did I put the star and case in one slide, then talked about the other Kakar? This was the reason. I did not explicitly say, this is the Panch Kakar, it's not, you can never speak for the Panch. So yeah, Jadwan, you say, I would, in my understanding of the situation, I would gauge the situation, if I need to, because again, this is the last resort. Maz has given us 4 ways, right? You can bribe them, you can talk them out of it, you can do anything, but if nothing, if all means fail, then you genuinely see there's something, there's a zolam going on, there's tyranny going on, if someone's being oppressed, you can step in and you would step in. And then if hukam di gal aandi hai, you'll say that was in hukam as well. Hukam was ki I stepped in. And hukam was and if an innocent had to die, then hukam was that an innocent unfortunately died. Right? Maj also says Khalsa hoga khud Khuda. Maj has given us the will, given us the gurgadi that we can make these decisions for ourselves. So we just have to be wise as well. Right? If someone is in danger, you have to step in. Now, it's an obligation, we have to. We will do anything it takes. That's the best answer, because we would kill. That's the harsh word. Most likely, ideally, this will never even leave in my life, in our lifetime. But the theology behind this, the philosophy behind this, is that we would step in for anybody, in any scenario. And this is the last resort. And that it was also in Hokam. Right? We're the only people, one more point. We're the only people in this world that have been given the padavi of Akal Purkh di Fauj. Do the Muslims have this padavi? No. The Christians? No. It's a padavi, technically, it is a state. Why? Because you're given a responsibility. It's a responsibility now. You are not, I repeat, you are not a normal citizen. Or PR or whatever. You're not a normal, person. Okay? You are a Guru da Sikh. Ideally Guru da Sikh. Again, not like kisi aur da Sikh. Guru da Sikh. And if you're Guru da Sikh, and you're told ki dunya mein reh ke save the world, change the world, kaljug mein reh ke make Satajug Bhagat. Bring about Satajug in this dark kaljug. Okay. I think that's again, you would say this is what I would do. Right? Because sometimes these sawals, they're just there to mess us up. Confused, we get distracted. Right? Good. So, ending it off, I wanted to throw this in here. WSO is a big also inspiration for this talk as well, kind of. And that 2006 case on the Kirpan, WSO played a huge role in fighting for their rights. Right now, the Bill 21 the issues going on with it. The hearing is very soon. Balpreet Singh, legal counsel of the WSO, is leading that. It's a very big thing, right? Think about it. This Bill 21 affects not just Sikhs, but Muslim sisters as well. So hijab they're in places of influence. That means a teacher, a doctor, police officer, any place of influence they cannot be. So how is that? It's a very Mahdi law. It's very bad. It's a very discriminatory law, to the point where even if you have a Bangalore candidate, right, Kara, even if you have a little Kara, no, that's not nothing. You can't have that Kara in Quebec, in the province of Quebec. Then the fear is if Quebec decides to go along with, and the Supreme Court sides with Quebec, and for all their reasonings, then other provinces could get inspired. Alberta already wants to be their own country. So we should, again, back to me, we should know about this. I don't think, so now the case is at the Supreme Court. When they hear what happens, okay, very soon we'll know what happens. But I don't think it's going to go through. But we'll see. If it goes through, we're not sure what will happen. More to like, but yeah, so resources, they have legal advocacy community, and now we do have an Atlantic team. An Atlantic regional team for WSO, right? So far we've had the Western team, Mid, Quebec. Now we have an Atlantic team as well. So if anyone knows someone who wants to be part of that team, they definitely let me know. Right now it's only me on the team. There's not really a team. And I'm Haji. We'll talk after. And so ideally, the team is all about you guys, Sangat, our people in Atlantic Canada now have a place to come to, people to reach out to, at work, at school. If anything happens, we have now resources to help them out. We have funding available if we need anything, okay? Anji, so that's where we'll end it off. I had Jeopardy planned as well, but bahut lamba ho gaya. I'm so sorry. Thank you everyone for coming. I had like a Vichar session planned, but again, 8 was great. So I think this is it. If anyone has any comments they want to add, they can. But